All right, folks, welcome to 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗀. I know everyone watched Trump declares public safety emergency in Washington, D.C., but I'm here to tell you I'm the backstory in all these things. I think it has to do more with getting the city ready for the arrests. Why? Because crime is going to spike even more than it is now, and they have to have all their ducks in a row and all their chess pieces in place. Folks, hit that notifications button. We're going to be talking about the war with the cartels, or should we say war with Mexico. I'm on the border. I live on the border. I'm seeing all the developments take place. There's nobody that knows this better than me. Nobody. I know both sides of the border. I have friends on that side and on this side, and I know both elements. I know the criminal element and the MAGA element. So I'm going to tell you right now, shit's getting ready to pop off. I've been waiting for this and wondering, how is this going to play out? I'm seeing striker vehicles on the border. I'm seeing Humvees. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff, more military personnel. And I'm like, this isn't just to stop immigration. This is something a lot more than that. Folks, notification buttons, like, subscribe. Venmo, baby, Venmo. 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗀 1977. 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗀 1977. Depending on how the audience is on YouTube, we might keep this going on Facebook and X as long as the audience numbers are high. Also, when the lights go out on Amazon, folks, that's my book I wrote with my thumb on my phone. So I text the whole book, and I did it in a month. I text the entire book with my thumb. I had no ghostwriters, nothing. I wrote that entire book myself. I had someone taking care of the grammatical errors. Hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I can read all right. Mexican Mix, the Mexican Mix, my mom's book. Folks, I'm seeing, subtle results with this C60 stuff that I take right here. Where's it at? I've been giving this to my mom, my dad. I'll put the link on a pinned comment down there below. But the C60 stuff, my back pain's gone. So there's that. Folks, get your noble gold. Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That 100,000 in savings today could feel like, 50,000 by the year 2031. But there's a way to protect and preserve your money, and that's gold. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to own gold and silver. No pressure, no call centers, just honest one-on-one support. I know Colin Plume personally. I love the guy. He's helped me out, and I feel safe having gold and silver, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's only going to go up in value. Open a qualified account today and get a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. I got one myself. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Noblegoldinvestments.com. Get started, folks. All right. X is Nino Boxer. PatriotWear.com. Bing right there. Get yourself some shirts, hats, socks. I don't know. I need to get some Sancho underwear. I need to get some Sancho underwear on my site. Folks, Nino's Corner.tv. Ringside with Nino is fire. This Wednesday is the next meeting for Ringside with Nino, where all my black sheep come together and we war game everything. Questions, opinions, strategy, everything we talk about on there. What intel I'm getting from Juanito, the Ghost, other people. Also this month, 𝗀𝗂𝗁𝗃𝗃 will be the general in the general's tent. That's going to be August 28th at 5 p.m. And also, the Ringside with Nino, Wednesday the 13th is at 5 p.m. So, Nino's Corner.tv, the Ghost, is up right now. 107 with an update is up right now. He's in London. He's got a lot of business meetings up there in London. And he made a stop on Nino's Corner.tv to talk about the banking system and the Federal Reserve, what's going to be happening. He does a quick update on Nino's Corner.tv. I have Gene Decode coming on. I have JJ Carroll going to be talking about the border today, cartel warfare. Like I said, 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗃's coming on, baby. Oh, yeah. And I got a gift card giveaway today, a cheap date with Sancho today. You get a $25 Visa gift card as a token of my appreciation for all my loved ones out there. I love you. Sancho loves you. All right, folks. And you might want to turn it down or turn it up, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, baby. Yeah. How many of you people turn that shit up? And how many of you turn it down? I don't know. But it is what it is. I want to say thank you to everyone that tunes in. All of you on Facebook, on YouTube. I appreciate you if you're on YouTube. Get in the chat on YouTube. That's how you win the gift card giveaway, the cheap date with Sancho. So Trump prepares direct strike on Mexico's cartels. What's this going to look like? I got to tell you, folks, they don't fuck around. The cartels don't. At least that's how I've always known it my entire life. What kind of warfare is this going to be? Now, is he going to be able to strike laboratories? You got to remember, China is very much involved with the cartels. So is he going to strike China? A lot of the labs are in China and in the United States. They're not just in Mexico. 𝗬𝗂𝗂, who put her in place? You guessed it. The cartels did. The globalists and the cartels came together and they said, we want to push this Green New Deal liberal agenda, but also we need the drugs to keep coming in. You can't serve two masters, Claudia. She wasn't expecting the whole game to get flipped on its head. They were expecting Biden to get in on 2024, and that didn't happen. I would hate to be her. Could you imagine the pressure and anxiety that woman is under, knowing that who's she going to comply with? Get ready for our military to hit targets within Mexico, most likely drone precision strikes. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's coming. And I'm going to explain how it's coming. As we get ready to dismantle the cartels in Mexico and in Latin America, both. This is essentially a war on Mexico because who controls the government? The cartels. But first, I want to make this one statement, so listen very closely. The Democratic Party will not exist by 2028. I'm telling you that right now. It will not exist by 2028 as Trump ushers in a new census. He's ushering in a new census, mass deportations, new investigations, and arrests begin. There will be no ground for them to even stand on. None. Especially when the voting system changes with Trump's rumored executive order that's coming. The Democratic Party will be a fart in the wind. Bye. Bye, Beto O'Rourke. I know you're trying really hard right now, buddy. I know you're really trying really hard right now, but you're the village idiot. And it's going to be, as this keeps going, you're going to see, I wouldn't doubt if he himself gets clickety-clank, to be honest with you. But they need the village idiot. The AOC and Beto O'Rourke need to be out there going, screaming from the hilltop. To remind people, it just repels people, right? All right, so what threats is Trump neutralizing here in America so when the arrests begin, we will have that advantage? Well, the big, beautiful bill offered Trump the luxury and higher ground of having a domestic military at his beck and call for mass deportations, mass arrests, and guess what else? Yep, you guessed it. Cartel warfare. Trump has now given the order for our military to strike down and take out cartels. Now, some of you are thinking right now, wait a minute. He can't just do that. He needs permission from Congress. Not so. Let me explain why. The CIA right now is finalizing a legal process due to Title 50 of the United States Code to empower Trump to initiate a direct strike within Mexico and Latin America. This gives Trump covert power to strike anywhere in the world without needing a vote from Congress. Say what? What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Cleanup time, folks. Cleanup. In my opinion, I don't think the cartels have any option from this point forward except to unite, which I think they're already being taken down behind the scenes, if you want my honest opinion. I think behind the scenes, they're being taken down. I've seen too many things happen here in El Paso. Certain tunnels get confiscated, shut down. This was even happening before Trump even got into office. So I've been watching here on the border what's happening, and a lot of tunnels have been confiscated and shut down. And I think something obvious has been happening behind the scenes. But I do believe they're going to unite, and I think they're going to have their last stand. However long that lasts, I don't know. I think they're going to be taken out quite quickly, to be honest with you, because they're going bankrupt right now, and that's a fact. Cartels are going bankrupt because they're not getting the product over here. And what's the product? Human beings. That's the product. There's been almost a 90-something%, I don't know the exact number, Trump even said it today, percent decrease, almost zero in crossings. Say what? What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, I said it. So what now? Well, the cartels have to fight, don't they? Their backs against the ropes. They're in the corner. They have to do something. What is 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗓𝗏 going to do? What is 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗓𝗏 going to do? She can't serve two masters. This is about to get really, really interesting, folks. Really interesting. So, like I said, I believe that we will see the cartels make their last stand, and I wouldn't be surprised if 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗓𝗏 doesn't make it to the end of Trump's term, if you know what I mean, because she's going to have to comply with somebody, and Trump is laying down the hammer on Claudia's ass. Yeah. So how is she going to play ball with our cartels and Trump? She's not. She has to pick somebody. She has to pick something. She has to pick one of the two masters, folks. And I would tell you what, folks, don't envy Claudia. She's in the worst position anyone could ever be in as a leader. And in a defiant move against NATO and the globalists, Trump is scheduled to meet with Putin in Alaska on August 15th. And better yet, what's 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 have to say about that? Is he going to be there? I got a feeling 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's on his way out, if you ask me. Yeah, I think some things are going to come to the surface after this meeting. And the only one that's not going to want to go along with any of the stipulations that Putin and Trump bring is going to be 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏. But it's all right because we got the mineral deal. We got the mineral deal. Trump to meet Putin August 15th. President Donald Trump announced he will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on August 15th as part of an effort to bring the war in Ukraine to a close. The highly anticipated meeting between Putin and the President of the United States of America and Putin of Russia will take place next Friday, August 15th, 2025, in the great state of Alaska. Trump has announced on Truth Social on August 8th. Further details to follow. Thank you for your attention on this matter. The confirmation comes hours after Trump announced that he would be meeting Putin very shortly, and the location for the face-to-face will be announced a little bit later. I don't know. Do you guys think? I don't know. They might use smoke and mirrors here, or they might use as Alaska as a detour. I mean, I would imagine it's going to be somewhere else. I would imagine they're not going to really. They wouldn't just tell everybody where it's going to be, right, folks? I mean, I would imagine not. I mean, they're just setting themselves up as an open target. So the Kremlin said on Thursday that Putin would meet with Trump in the coming days, after which Putin suggested that talks would be held in the United Arab Emirates. When asked if Putin and 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 could be signing a peace deal similar to Friday's pact between America and Azerbaijan, the president was very optimistic. Really? Optimistic? Let's see what happens. I think the only one here that's not going to be playing ball is going to be 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Anyone want to make a bet with Nino's Casino? And I think this is how they air out 𝗬𝗏𝗏. But we shall see. Many titanic efforts to derail meetings with Russia are in place right now. Certain countries will make titanic efforts to disrupt the meeting of the U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Friday with Russian President Vladimir Putin for August 15th, Russia's investment envoy Kirill Dmitriev said on Saturday. Trump had said earlier that Russia and Ukraine were very close to a ceasefire deal that could resolve the 3.5-year conflict. The contents of the deal have yet to be announced, but it could require Ukraine to surrender significant territory, an outcome many European nations oppose. Dmitriev accused unnamed countries of seeking to prolong the war. Undoubtedly, a number of countries interested in continuing the conflict will make titanic efforts to disrupt the planned meeting between President Putin and President Trump. So what kind of titanic efforts? I don't know. I still say Trump makes himself way too accessible to the public. I can only pray that the only chance these people have is to take him out. And I just hope that he's well protected. We got the first gift card winner. Congratulations, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃 James, 758. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃 James. Orale, 758. You got a cheap date with Sancho. Good to see. I got some workers here in my front yard. I don't know who the fuck they are, but I don't know what they're doing in my front yard. I don't know what they're doing. I'm looking at them right now. Orale, all right, they're leaving. All right, Ukrainians will not give their land to occupiers, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃 says. So, President Vladimir 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃 said on Saturday that Ukraine could not violate its constitution on territorial issues, adding that Ukrainians will not give up their land to occupiers. So here we are. He's already saying he's not going to comply because those are the stipulations that Putin's going to put forward. And 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃's already saying, no, we will not comply. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃 commented on U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Alaska on August 15. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃 said Ukraine was ready for real solutions that could bring peace, but he added that any solutions without Kiev would be solutions against peace. So we already know who's going to be the thorn in the ass. We already know who it's going to be. That man right there. Going to be real interesting to see how this plays out, right, folks? I'm going to bet that they're going to say, all right, we're going to come to the table. Peace deal is going to be negotiated, and it's not going to happen, is what I say. And Trump is doing this to show that he's putting forward an effort. But the weakest link is going to be 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. Leticia James, motherfucker. Leticia James fraud. Leticia James, 40-year criminal enterprise while serving as New York's top prosecutor. There is so much evidence. Conviction is inevitable, they say. Special prosecutor Ed Martin has been assigned to the case, and the amount of evidence is absolutely monumental. This is a full breakdown of the case and evidence from 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃.com. There is so many legal documents and written evidence and fraud through insurance companies and through federal programs with witnesses from her own office and lawyer that spans over a 40-year period. Now, folks, where did he hear this first? Sean Taylor, Deputy Chief Police Sean Taylor brought out the mortgage fraud first. So did John Stubbins. I had John Stubbins and Sean Taylor on Nino'sCorner.tv. If you're not on Nino'sCorner.tv, you're not getting the news first. We're over the target, baby. Yeah. And I got to say, Sean Taylor really put his ass on the line. He's been tracking this for 15 years. 15 years, Sean Taylor, out of Tennessee, has been tracking the mortgage fraud, and finally it's coming to the surface. Not with just Leticia James, but Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff. and many, many others, folks. This is the whole deep state laundering right here. Pay attention to this stuff. It's breaking right now. And what else is breaking? Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's insider trading. Got to get them for something, folks. Lighting a lot of fires. We're lighting a lot of fires. They're going to be very busy putting this stuff out. So here are just some of the potential criminal charges against Leticia James, motherfucker. Here it is. False reporting on number of units and buildings, false mortgage applications, 10 plus false statements for lenders over 20 years, defrauding government assistance programs, signing false declarations of primary residence, witnessed by own staff, false mortgage reports, hidden mortgage reports, perjury, wire fraud, mail fraud, RICO, written confessions, over 10.3 million total in gains with fraudulent enterprises, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're going to go away for a while. Leticia, the boomerang. We are now living in the boomerang, folks. How does it feel to be part of this wonderful time in history? Now, I've said, when the pendulum swings left, I look at it swinging right too. Interesting times. Let me take a sip of my coffee for a second. 1 second. I like my coffee black. I've been doing the coffee black since I've been fasting because it keeps me going. It keeps me coasting throughout the day until I get hungry. So I'm going to eat today probably about 3:30 or 5 o'clock. I don't know. Whenever Sancho gets hungry. All right. So MAGA influencer Charlie Kirk. What do you all think about Charlie Kirk? Put it in the comments. I like Charlie Kirk. I like what he's doing. I like that he goes on campuses and really he has the balls to debate with anybody, man. Anybody that gets to the microphone. So I do like Charlie Kirk, what he's doing. And I bet you, I have a feeling Charlie Kirk is getting ready to I bet you he's going to run for president in the future. I'm betting on this. I think this is the direction he wants to go with this. And he's smart because he's getting the youth. He's getting the youth behind him because they'll be the ones voting in the future. And I think he's probably going to try to make a run. And this is just hypothetical. I don't know for sure. But I would imagine he to be doing all this work, to be going out there to every college campus and do what he's doing. He's brilliant. Very smart move. He's putting in the work. I'm going to bet you he's going to run for president after 2028 sometime. I bet you that that's what he's doing. He's laying the groundwork right now. I don't know. That's just what I see happening. MAGA influence, but the fact that he doesn't know what's going on with 9/11 bothers me. I'll say that much. That his eyes aren't open to that. That bothers me. Kind of bothers me. Anyway, MAGA influencer Charlie Kirk lashes out at Trump plan to reclassify pot as less dangerous drug. Marijuana is currently a Schedule I drug, which the Drug Enforcement Administration defines as a drug with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse, and carries harsh criminal penalties under federal law. MAGA influencer Charlie Kirk is lashing out on social media over reports that President Donald Trump is considering rescheduling marijuana under the Controlled Substances Act. Now, I'll tell you this, Sancho has done some marijuana in his life. And I will say that I don't think it's a bad drug, but it is a gateway drug. It does lead to others. So, as I get older, I definitely see the world completely different now. My liberal views have turned more conservative as I get older. I think that's just what happens. You get wiser. You start seeing the way the world really is. And I got to say, I don't believe certain drugs like marijuana. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to piss off a lot of people, but I think they should be reined back. I don't see any benefit it really has. It makes you unproductive, unmotivated. I don't know, but I guess if some people have ailments, it can work, but you can get that through CBD, right? So you don't really need the high. I think I might be on board with Charlie Kirk on this one. I think I might be on board with him. And, Sancho has done it all, folks. Okay. I've been a very bad boy, Pero I look at things very different now these days. Very different. So that's how I see it. So marijuana is currently a Schedule 1 drug with which the Drug Enforcement Administration defines as a drug with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse, carrying harsh criminal penalties under federal law. I don't think people should go to jail for this drug. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Alcohol is worse. I agree. Alcohol is much worse. Both of them combined together has got to be pretty bad. Kirk, however, seems to believe that marijuana holds the same addictive properties and danger as heroin, which killed 3,984 people in 2023, according to the National Institutes of Health. I hope this doesn't happen. We need to protect public spaces for kids. Everything already smells like weed, which is ridiculous. And I got to say that too. Wherever it's legal, have you noticed it's like it's like this the smell in the air everywhere. I like the smell of marijuana, to be honest with you. I just don't like to smoke it because it makes me very paranoid. Sancho does not like to be paranoid. Ghislaine Maxwell's in the news, and her inmate, her fellow cell inmate. All right, listen to this. This is the quote. I heard Ghislaine tell inmate she had dirt on Trump, sex trafficker ex-cellmate. Her ex-cellmate gives extraordinary glimpse into Maxwell's life behind bars and reveals why her hygiene caused complaints. That's disgusting. The first time Catherine 𝗀𝗂𝗃 laid eyes on Ghislaine Maxwell was when the convicted sex offender was about to enter the isolation unit in Tallahassee prison in the autumn of 2022. She was just standing there in an orange jumpsuit and an orange flip-flops with handcuffs behind her back and a guard on both sides. She was looking down at the ground, tense and angry. She had just been strip searched, which involves squatting naked and coughing because they don't want any contraband. That's a visual. Wow, that's a visual. Especially coming from her. How does she like to be violated? How does old Ghislaine Maxwell like to be violated, huh? Squatting and coughing. Let's all take a moment and visualize that. Let's all just take a moment of Ghislaine Maxwell squatting and coughing, spreading her butt cheeks and coughing. Wow. That's not a very good visual. Anyway, she says she heard some fellow inmates shouting, "Here comes Maxwell, here comes Maxwell, here comes that big money bitch." I thought to myself, oh my God, there she is. What is she doing here in this hellhole? But Maxwell stayed cool, calm, and collected. That was the way she was. Her golden rule seemed to be that she would keep to herself and only herself. They first saw each other in the isolation unit shortly after the 𝗀𝗃𝗃 arrived at the Tallahassee. Maxwell, 63 years old, had already been at the prison for a few months, but had to spend a night in the unit as punishment for taking to the media without permission from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. It was the only interview she ever did, and she got in trouble for it, says 𝗀𝗃𝗃, referring to Maxwell's 2023 appearance on Talk TV's 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗁 Live, in which the disgraced British socialite said she wished she had never met the late predator, Jeffrey Epstein. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 spent 15 days in isolation after being transferred from federal prison camp Marietta, Florida, where she had been found with a mobile phone. After completing the time, she was taken by guards to be in the bunk near Maxwell, where she says Maxwell revealed Trump's implication. Now, I'm not going to go much further into this because I'm going to tell you what right here. A lot of these articles are coming out right now, and I'm bringing them out to you so I can explain to you what I believe they're doing. I believe there's no proof in this. I do believe that Trump was, in a degree, he was in the circles of Jeffrey Epstein. But that does not mean he went to the island. I don't think he ever did go to the island and do naughty things, bad things. Now, that being said, this is the only card the deep state has to play right now as all this stuff comes out. The card they're going to play and the ammunition they're going to give to the liberals is going to be all Jeffrey Epstein. And it doesn't help that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino come out and say that, well, he did self-delete and, well, we don't have the list. That doesn't help it at all. And I understand that. But the 100 names that Maxwell gave just recently, I've heard are going to justify Trump in all of this. So they're going to vindicate Trump. Now, that's just what I'm hearing. Go to 𝗦𝗏𝗀𝗏.tv to learn more. I'll have Juan on about that pretty soon because I've been talking to him privately about it, and he's promised to come on and talk more about it. So, and I know a lot of the names. Anyway, border news. Let's get to border news. I'm going to have J.J. Carroll on today talking about the cartel wars that are going to be happening. So that's going to be an interesting podcast. That'll be on 𝗦𝗏𝗀𝗏.tv. $25 gift card wiener. Congratulations, Kelly Armistead. 6422. God bless you. Thank you for playing. Remember, you can only play if you're on the YouTube. You got to be on the YouTube. All right. So, border news. Let's get to border news. Trump asked SCOTUS to allow profiling in California ICE raids. The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow officers to arrest suspected undocumented immigrants in Southern California because of how they look. Do you believe this? I don't know. All right, let's just keep going. What language they're speaking and what kind of work they're doing, I don't know. Maybe a good start is, I don't know, Walmart or Home Depot. What they're doing, factors that federal judges have found to be baseless and discriminatory. Last month's ruling by U.S. District Judge 𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗏, that's really her last name, 𝗵𝗶𝗀, upheld by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, threatens to upend immigration officials' ability to enforce immigration laws in the Central District of California. John Seward, the Justice Department Solicitor General, said Thursday in a filing with the Supreme Court, the court should end this attempted judicial usurpation of immigration enforcement functions and suspend the injunction while the case is argued in the lower courts. So are we going to see racial profiling? I don't know. There's a lot of Chinese coming here, Palestinians, Latin Americans. You got to racial profile everybody. Ukrainians. There's a lot of people here coming, folks. Companies aiding in Trump's immigration crackdown see extraordinary revenues. The tech surveillance and private prison providers arming Donald Trump's massive expansion and weaponization of immigration enforcement are running a victory lap after reporting their latest financial results. Palantir, the tech firm and Geo Group of CoreCivic, the private prison and surveillance companies, said this week that they brought in more money than Wall Street expected them to, thanks to the administration's crackdown on what? On immigrants. Well, as usual, I've been cautioned to be a little modest about our bombastic numbers, said Alex Karp, the Palantir chief executive and investor, call earlier this week. Then he crowed about the company's extraordinary numbers and his enormous pride in its success. We expect to see much, much more of this. So they're spiking in revenue right now, which is expected. Palantir is, what is Palantir? It's the artificial intelligence company. Is that what it is? Surveillance. We're all being watched. Even Sancho. But, the way I see it, folks, this could be problem, reaction, solution. It could be, they could be using the immigrants to bring in this type of police state. But I'm now to the age where I think, if you're not doing anything, you have nothing to worry about. Really, that's how I see it. And I do want to see violent criminals taken off the street. I don't know how you all feel about that, but as I get older, that's really how I look at this now. If you're not doing any of the shenanigans, you really have nothing to worry about. That's just how I see it. Now, call me old, call me viejo. Viejo. Sancho is now a viejo, but when I was in my 20s and 30s, I may have thought a little different because I was a hooligan, baby. Yeah! All right, J.J. Carroll, who's coming on today. The single most shocking testimony in United States congressional history was by who? J.J. Carroll. J.J. Carroll, I state without reservation that the United States federal government under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is the world's largest child organization in modern history. The probability that thousands of these children are being at this very moment is 100%, he says. I've served the United States Border Patrol for 24 years until I retired as a deputy patrol agent in charge of the San Diego sector. I worked under 5 presidential administrations, and only one president secured the border, and that was Donald Trump. And his congressional testimony goes on for it's quite extensive. So I'll be having him on today on Nino'sCorner.tv to talk about this and what the cartel warfare could look like. Could we see blood on the streets in America? I'm going to tell you one thing. I think there's going to be precision drone strikes happening. Now, if they get any, I don't know if they'll get any media attention. I think they're already happening, but maybe not drone strikes. But I think the heads of the cartels are being taken down. Breaking: President Trump has reportedly signed a military directive to begin using military force against Latin American drug cartels. The drug cartels are waging war on America, and it's now time to wage war on the cartels. Fentanyl, heroin, meth, and other lethal drugs are now pouring across our wide open border. With Biden, not really anymore, but now they're using different methods, folks. By the way, submarines are used. That's why you need the military. Submarines are used. And guess what else, folks? Grocery products like vegetables, fruits, and things like that. They're putting it in produce because they know that they have to push that stuff through very fast, and they don't have time to go through it all because the fruits and vegetables go bad. So they're using that as a means as well. They're getting very creative, very, very creative. Our country is being poisoned from within by the drugs and all the other crimes taking place. As president, I will be the policy of the United States to take down the cartels and will show no mercy. In addition to stronger border security, I will deploy all necessary military assets, including the U.S. Navy, to impose a full naval embargo on the cartels. I will guarantee the waters of the Western Hemisphere are not used to traffic illicit drugs into our country. I will order the Department of Defense to make appropriate use of special forces, cyber warfare, and other overt and covert actions to inflict maximum damage on cartel leadership, infrastructure, and operations. I will designate major cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We will sever their access to global financial systems. I will forge unprecedented partnerships with neighboring governments in our region. We will have to help. We have to help Mexico. We have to stymie the cartels. Either we get the full cooperation of other governments to stop this menace, or we will expose every bribe, every kickback, every payoff, and every bit of corruption following the cartels to preserve their brutal reign. I will ask Congress to pass legislation ensuring drug smugglers and human traffickers receive the death penalty. Hold on. Drug smugglers and human traffickers to receive what? The death penalty. Holy shit. It's not a good time to be a drug dealer right now, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're not going to, folks, I'm telling you now, even selling a bag of weed, a bag of pills here and there, not a good trade right now. Not a smart business decision. If you know anybody that does this shit, I would tell them to stop. I think right now is about the time you call it quits. Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Like right now. You got to count your money. Or never count your money. I don't know. Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers passed away, right? Alex, is Kenny Rogers still alive? I think he's gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone. Rest in peace, Kenny. He passed March 20th, 2020, actually, right before.
Damn, right before all this shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
You ever watch movies like prior or before 2020, before 9/11, and you could just see the difference in the consciousness?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like they were like so people were like so like they were so happy, but yet so asleep. Like,
yeah,
like what we know now compared to like the 90s and early 2000s.
Right.
Like humanity has woken up so much, and we're going to wake up a lot more because I still think there's some events ahead, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Mexico's president says U.S. forces are unwelcome in her country. Tough shit. So it looks like she's picking her lane, folks. The Mexican president The Mexican government thought it turned a corner in cooperating with the Trump administration in combating the cartels, having launched an aggressive crackdown of its own. President 𝗬cia 𝗰𝗶𝗹 of Mexico rejected the use of U.S. military forces in her country on Friday, responding to news that President Trump had directed the Pentagon to target drug cartels that the United States considers terrorist organizations. The United States is not going to come to Mexico. Okay, so the United States is not going to come to Mexico with the military. We cooperate, we collaborate, but there's not going to be an invasion. That is ruled out, absolutely ruled out, she has said, adding that she would read the order. It is not part of any agreement, far from it. When it has been brought up, we have also said no. We have always said no. We will not allow America's military force within Mexico. It remains unclear what plans the Pentagon is drawing up for possible action. Remember what I said, folks, finalizing the legal process due to Title 50 of the United States Code to empower Trump to initiate a direct strike in Mexico. Title 50 gives Trump the covert power to strike anywhere in the world without needing a vote from Congress. Who do you work for, Claudia? Oh, boy, you can't sleep at night, can you? Arizona border city designed as latest national defense area. An Arizona community has become the fourth stretch of land along the U.S.-Mexico border that is deemed a national defense area since April, designating it as an area where American military troops can charge migrants with federal crimes. This is brilliant. Troops are now stationed in Yuma after the Department of Defense added a stretch of 32 miles along the border to be added to the more than 500 miles that are being patrolled by military personnel. The Yuma Defense Area is an extension of the Marine Corps training base that is already in place near the Barry Goldwater training range. Military troops are already in place in the latest zone and have been assigned to detain migrants who enter the United States illegally, and will also be assisting with upgrading the existing border barriers. Like with the three other national defense areas that are in place in part of the New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas agreement, the designation of Yuma as the NDA allows migrants who are detained by troops to be charged with federal trespassing offenses on top of illegal entry charges. Existing NDA areas have already been opened at the Fort Huachuca, Arizona, which covers 170 miles, Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas, and the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, where 250 miles of border land are being monitored by the U.S. military. Folks, I have never seen anything like this in my life. I think that picture right there, I think that's El Paso. Looks like it. And 𝗧𝗵𝗋, what's 𝗧𝗵𝗋 doing right now? Well, 𝗧𝗵𝗋 has posted a video of a pastor he follows calling for a gay sex ban. So Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has reposted a video that features the leader of the Christian evangelical movement he follows calling to make gay sex illegal. The segment from CNN focused on Doug Wilson, co-founder of the Communion of Reformed Evangelical Churches. In the late 70s and early 80s, 𝗬𝗏 was a felony in all 50 states, Wilson says in the clip. That America of that day was not a totalitarian hellhole. He adds that he wishes America would bring back those laws which made sex between people of the same sex illegal. Well, that's going to piss off a lot of people. So I don't know how you all feel about this, right? I just don't, I don't care what people do in their bedrooms. I personally I don't care at all. I don't give a shit at all. But as long as it's not pushed on you, as long as it's not pushed in your face in movies or commercials, I'm good. I don't care. Have fun. I don't give a shit at all. It's not my fucking job to judge anybody, but I will say, I just don't like it pushed. I don't think it should be pushed on anybody. Just the same way you don't like Jehovah's Witnesses coming into your house and knocking on the door, or your Mormons. I don't like to see that shit either. Orale. All right. Panama playlist leak exposes J.D. Vance's love for boy bands. Ever wonder what tune U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is listening to when he's coming up with brilliant ideas for governing? Well, he likes boy bands. Oh, boy. Right now, I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. Oh, you don't know. You're beautiful. Oh, that's what makes you beautiful. That's right. Vance is apparently a big fan of who? One Direction. I think they go both directions. Just saying. And what other boy bands? Well, 8 years after the Panama Papers leaked 11.5 million financial documents of offshore bank accounts, the Panama playlists have surfaced. The Panama playlists claiming to expose the favorite music of politicians, celebrities, and other public figures on Spotify. And it may not be too damaging to the individuals, but it could be embarrassing. That is, if only if loving boy bands is something to be ashamed of. Featured on Vance's playlist are "What Makes You Beautiful" by the 2010 pop band One Direction, "I Want It That Way" by 1990s band Backstreet Boys. Now, let me just say, I was in the grocery store the other day, and Backstreet Boys came on. Now, I've never liked the Backstreet Boys, but I got to say something. I'll admit it. I was jamming out. I was like, man, this is a good fucking song. It's a really good song, and I was singing it, and I was dancing to it. And I didn't even know it, and I was like, holy shit, is this fucking Backstreet Boys? And I guess I'm a fan. I guess I'm a closet fan of the Backstreet Boys. In fact, I think they're playing in Vegas right now. Are they playing in Vegas right now, Alex? Do you know? Because if they are, I think I'm going to go see them.
Dude, I love the Backstreet Boys. I
didn't like back when I was a hardcore boxer and I was training. I didn't listen to the Backstreet Boys. I'd get that shit out of here. Now I'm walking in the grocery store and I'm pushing the shopping cart, singing the song.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, dude, I like their music. I like their music.
I know it's catchy. Yeah, I had to go through the totally.
Yeah, and they're not. They're
awesome.
Dude, I like them. And you know what, man? Like they don't make music like that anymore, dude.
No, they don't. Yeah, it's like an era. It was an era, and
if you think we'll ever see another, if the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys fucked and had a kid, it would have been Justin Bieber, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So then Justin Bieber was like the last of it, and now I guess he's still doing it, but like I think we're right around that time when they're going to reemerge with some new boy bands. I think.
Yeah, there might be. There's that K-pop that everybody's.
Oh, is that the Korean stuff?
Yeah, it's like the Korean pop bands, and so there's lots of boy bands there, but I don't think there's not really a big one in the U.S. or.
Remember back in the day before NSYNC and Backstreet, it was like Boys to Men.
Yeah.
𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗲. Damn, dude. Yeah.
That good 90s R&B and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, New Kids on the Block. But then it was like the harder stuff, the Beastie Boys. See, I like that stuff. I like the Beastie Boys, stuff like that. But dude, I found myself rocking out to fucking Backstreet Boys. So dude, I don't know.
I know it's catchy. Hey.
Fucking catchy. I can't believe I'm admitting this to the whole world. Oh boy, Sancho likes the Backstreet Boys. Orale. All right, so Los Tigres del Norte. I don't know if you all know who Los Tigres del Norte are, but somebody looked them up. 25 gift card winner. Congratulations. Light Connection 1, baby. Congratulations. All right. Is there any super chats? Let's answer some super chats right now. Kelly Panetsky, thank you so much. Super sticker, thank you. Samajalan. A guy jumped into the pit exhibition of the Chinese Xi'an Museum and destroyed 2,000-year-old statues. Wow. What the fuck news edition for the day, Nino? Thanks, man. Damn, that's crazy, man. I can't believe that. Preston Jones, Nino, the spaceship coming is in the prison ship. I bet so. I bet you so. Have you guys noticed, like, I've been watching videos of like Las Vegas empty. But I gotta say, man, doesn't it seem, I don't know if it's just like the illegal immigrants are not moving around as much or what it is, but is it me or do places seem a lot more empty lately? Put it in the chat. I want to know, like, a lot of people are not in Vegas anymore. They're showing like how there's been like I don't know what the decrease is. Someone look it up. I think it's a substantial decrease in Vegas attendance. There's not many tourists there anymore. It's like a ghost town. What do you think the problem is? What do you think this is? Has everyone left in a spaceship? Is it the immigrants not coming out? Are they in hiding? What is it? I don't know. Michelle Christians, super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michelle Christians. So I don't know. recession. It could be the economy. No money. Yeah, that's probably a big part of it. But I think it's more than that. Yeah, because of ICE raids. I think it's the ICE raids, man. I think that's the biggest. That just shows you how many illegal immigrants were in this country. Now, let's think about this for a second. That means if we're right, about 40 to 60 million illegal immigrants are in this country that are all in a frozen standstill right now. That's why there's less seats, or there's more seats available on planes. Stores aren't so packed anymore. What are they doing? I mean, really think about this, folks. They're being hunted right now. This is crazy to think about. It's insane. It's insane to think about. But let's get to what the fuck news and what the fuck news and what the fuck news. Inside the rise of robot saviors competing for believers. 5 popular AI Jesus chatbots were analyzed for how they present themselves, their theology, and their business models. Most claimed outright to be Jesus Christ, and none had any church endorsement. So this is where it's all going. Everything's going to AI now. AI were profit-driven, relying on advertising, with one offering paid upgrades. Responses to identical theological questions varied widely, raising concerns about accuracy and manipulation. The study warns that these AI systems may pose a unique theological challenge, not imitating humans made in God's image, but claiming to be God. So if you know about the youth now, they're not doing they're doing everything on ChatGPT and on Grok. They're going there for every answer. Folks, it's never been before done like this. You used to have to search the internet. You'd have resources. You'd have to look for yourself. Now it does it all for you. AI is giving you the answers to everything. And now they're doing AI saviors. And people are falling for this shit. Artificial intelligence programs across the internet are making an extraordinary claim. They are Jesus Christ himself. These aren't virtual assistants helping with daily tasks. Instead, these chatbots present themselves as the Son of God, offering spiritual guidance, answering prayers, and even taking confessions from believers. So, folks, is this the Antichrist? I think this is it. I mean, come on. It's the AI, artificial intelligence, has to be the Antichrist, which was created by man. 666. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think this is it right here. A new study by 𝗦𝗍𝗂𝗶𝗹, a professor of philosophy at the Northwest University in South Africa, examines this growing trend, warning that these chatbots pose a new kind of challenge. They don't just imitate humans made in God's image. They claim to be God himself. How do AI Jesus chatbots make money? Well, AI Jesus platforms, they found none were created by or endorsed by any church. Instead, they are run by for-profit companies with names like Supreme Chaos, All Stars Productions, and Cat Loaf Software. So these aren't even ran by churches. So how are even churches going to compete with this? AI Jesus chatbots are now all the rage. Everyone's going to AI for answers, even spiritual answers, religious answers. They're going and read. Folks, I don't even know, like, why even go to a Bible study anymore when you get Bible verses on your phone? Why even open a Bible and read a book? Why do any of that when you get it all on your phone? Do you all see how dangerous this is? Because I do. I see how dangerous this all is. And I don't know if there is going to be a rapture, right? Maybe that's where all the people win. If there is going to be a rapture, I would say, hey, I think it's got to be right about now, because the younger generations have no fighting chance in any of this. It's done. It's game, set, match, man. We're all cooked. We're cooked. Where does humanity go from here? We've already seen how cell phones and the internet has completely destroyed humanity. Well, how much worse is it going to get with AI? Are people even going to communicate anymore? Are we all going to have AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends? Is that what's going to happen? We're going to be completely disconnected from each other. I tell you what, folks, I think like right about now is the time for the blackout, if you want to know the truth. We got to save humanity. because we're going in the wrong direction. And that's the way I see it. And with that being said, what do you think, Alex? Was that a good show?
Man, yeah, and you're bringing up a good point with this AI stuff. I mean, it is scary and overwhelming. I feel like we have to like individually not be overwhelmed by it and try to stay on top of it with what you can. Don't be like, oh, I'm just not going to touch it. Like, try to learn some of these tools, try to see how they like work with them, see how they work, see what they do, what kind of answers they're giving you, and like be able to kind of stay on top of it. But definitely,
dude, you see like people are making like their own bands, singers, creating AI music and acquiring all these followers.
Yeah.
Like, where's music going to go? Where's artistry going to go? What's going to happen to movies, art? Like, if we're not able to use our creative juices, what need is there for us anymore? This is so dangerous.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, there's going to be, yeah, it's both.
This is the Antichrist. I'm convinced. I don't think it's going to be a person anymore. I think this is it. It has to be.
I mean, the ChatGPT logo here has the black cube in the center. It's got the 6 arms around it. So this black cube symbolism is very much
666 right there.
And you got the 6 right here. So, again, it doesn't mean that what it indicates is at the highest levels, that's who's influencing these things. But it doesn't mean that it's necessarily, we're necessarily all doomed to an inevitable conclusion. We are still part of this fight, and humanity is the one with power here, not the AI ultimately. And we just have to keep reminding ourselves of that and, reinforcing it and living that way too, making choices that align with that. Go out in nature, become familiar with AI, use it in your office at home.
Phone off.
And then, yeah.
I mean, seriously, walk barefoot outside without your phone, get grounded, meditate, pray, watch Nino's Corner. Wait, what? Just kidding. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Alex, thanks for joining me. We'll be back Wednesday. Oh, the last winner, 𝗬𝗓𝗃𝗓. 𝗬𝗓𝗃𝗓, you're the next cheap date with Sancho. 𝗬𝗓𝗃𝗓, thanks for playing. All right, folks, we're out of here. Alex, I'll see you. What's today, Monday? Oh, Monday. Wednesday, folks. This is important. Wednesday, we're going to do it like an hour earlier, right?
Yeah.
So this week is kind of whack.
Yeah. We went a half hour later today with Trump speaking, and then Wednesday's going to be an hour earlier, but we'll still be here.
Yeah. So I'll be out of town, but I'll be an hour earlier. And then I think maybe we'll bring on a guest for Wednesday. We'll see how this rolls. So an hour earlier Wednesday, folks. We're out of here. All right, Alex. See you later, buddy.
All right, peace.
And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting, baby,